What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. This is the 1 month review of the Phantom GX DF Elite. This is a very, very special football boot for me. It has been a boot that I have enjoyed wearing so much, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts about it after 1 month. As you can see, I've beaten the living crap out of these. I have worn the DF model in both FG and AG. I have both models, so you guys will get a sense of what both of those are like, and I'll explain that when we talk first about the sole plate. So the sole plate for the Phantom GX is a really nice sole plate. It does lack a little bit of structure through kind of this forefoot and midfoot area. It's not something that a lot of people will notice, but when you go from this boot straight to something like a Speed Portal, especially one of the older gens with the Carbitex insert, or a Speed Flow or something like that, or frankly a lot of other football boots on the market that have a more structured sole plate, this does feel a little bit flimsy in some scenarios, especially when you are pushing off or doing a bunch of agility work over and over again. It really forces your foot to do a lot of the work. So for those of you who are looking for a really raw barefoot sensation, these are a great fitting football boot, and the sole plate does a really nice job of giving you that free sensation, which honestly, a lot of times I really enjoy that. That's why I've worn these so much for training and in games. I've worn these in preseason games, preseason training sessions. My game boots have been Phantom GX, Hypervenom 3, so far. So those of official like matches now that we're in season. I haven't worn the high tops, I've just worn the low tops of the GXs, but these would be totally great as well. But these have been an awesome football boot for me, and so the sole plate for me, both FG and AG have been awesome. I have actually enjoyed wearing the AG a lot just because I wear, or I play mostly on AG pitches, and the AG plate of this is the same pattern except everything is conical, and I really like conical studs. I think conical studs do the best kind of overall job of giving you really good pivot power, giving you really nice touch underfoot on the ball, and they do a really good job. So I've worn both FG and AG models more than a month now. I mean, this is now probably 6 weeks or so since the initial review of this model, and I have really enjoyed this. The FG model is perfectly suitable on AG, at least in my opinion, and I have enjoyed wearing it a lot as well. So for me, this is going to get an 8 out of 10 for the sole plate. Now let's move on to the heel area. So I know that in the low top version, a lot of people complained about a little bit of slippage in the heel area. For me, this is where the DF model shines, and the DF model actually has a lot more lockdown straight out of the box than the low cut model does, just because of this extra ghost lacing system and the way that the DF collar really kind of holds your ankle in, and the heel area fits my foot really nicely. It's got a pretty thin heel area, but because of the lack of internal heel counter, it's gonna mold and kind of stretch around and be suitable for most heel area types, which is awesome for me, and I think it's gonna be awesome for a lot of other people too. So for me, this is gonna get a really good rating. I had zero issues with any sort of hot spots or anything like that. There was one time where I felt a little bit of slippage here and a little bit of like rubbing on the outside, but that was literally one training session, and I think honestly my feet were probably swollen because I had played a game like 2 days earlier or whatever. So for me, I'm not going to count that in, factor that in. It's not the best heel area I've ever felt, but it is very much up there. It is really close to the top. So for me, this heel area is going to get an 8.5 out of 10. The upper of this football boot, as you guys know, I've spoken so highly of this football boot for a lot of reasons. The upper is the main reason. I love this grip knit upper. I think honestly, with this kind of lace cover, this ghost lacing system, it does a fantastic job of wrapping your foot, molding to the shape of your foot. Yes, it is a little bit pointy. Yes, it is a little bit lower volume here in this toe box area, but for me, this does such a nice job of wrapping your foot. I love this grip knit. Somebody asked me recently, hey, does the waxiness feeling or that grippy feeling go away after a bunch of wear? No, it's still very grippy, still really waxy, still fits great, still feels really nice on ball. It is something you have to get used to, but for me, I got used to it pretty quickly, and I love the extra grip on the ball it offers, and it really does a fantastic job of of giving you a little extra edge in wet conditions especially, but also in dry conditions as well, bending the ball, striking the ball. This surface, the striking surface of this area is fantastic, and for me this is going to get a 9 out of 10 for the upper. Lockdown for this football boot is fantastic. I think the lockdown is slightly better than the low top model, just because of that heel area. I don't have any issues playing. As you guys know, I wore my pink version in my first game of the season against Maryland, and those performed well. I love both models. I will wear both. We're talking just tiny, minute differences. The lockdown of this boot is near perfect in my opinion. It fits my foot. Not only does the boot fit my foot really well, but the lockdown of this football boot literally makes it feel like I can turn on a dime any time of the day, any time of a game, no condition, any conditions, all that stuff, and it's going to perform really well. I'm going to have zero slippage inside the boot. It's going to lock my foot in super tight and be fantastic. So for me, this is getting top marks for lockdown. This GXDF gets a 9 out of 10. All right, break-in time for the GXDF. I will admit the regular GX has great break-in period of time. I basically need no break-in time. I can wear those, the regular low top model straight into a match pretty much. These, because of the extra tightness I get, which is a good thing, from the lockdown and stuff from the ghost lacing cover and this little, this DF collar here, these take me a little bit longer to break in. I'd say 1 hour, maybe 2 to 4 hours, I'd say. Give yourself about 2 to 4 hours to break these in, especially if you have a little bit wider foot shapes. These are definitely boots that I would recommend giving yourself a little bit more time than the low top model. They're going to need a little bit more, but for the most part, break-in time is really good in these. They just fit the shape of my foot really well, so that's just that's something you're going to have to judge for yourself. For me, this gets an 8 out of 10 for break-in time. Durability and build quality of the Phantom GX DF. Now, Phantom GX DF has been really great for durability for me. The only times that I have seen it kind of rip or tear or anything has been in some of the seams between the sole plate and the upper, which is frankly pretty common for me just when I'm striking the ball, especially because I tend to hit the ball really close to the ground to get that kind of dip and swerve action going. But again, it's just going to depend on your playing style. I tend to go through boots fairly quickly. I think the longest pair of football boots that I've had, that I've worn every single day over and over and over again, actually was the low top model of this, and that was about 5 months, and I wore those boots pretty much every day for 5 months, and those are still in great condition actually, which is awesome. For me, these boots are fantastic as well. They're going to get a really high rating. Durability and build quality of this football boot is fantastic. Nike has done a great job. The sole plate's a little bit flimsy, so again, that's going to lose a point or so just from the standpoint of being a little bit more premium. I want something a little bit more robust and flex and responsive. But overall, this is going to get a great rating. Durability and build quality is getting an 8.5 out of 10. Shape and fit of this football boot is fantastic. For my foot shape, it fits really well. I know for a lot of people, because of how flexible this upper is and because of its ability to kind of mold and kind of I guess adapt to the shape of your foot, it's going to be suitable for most foot types. And so for me, this is going to get really top marks. I know guys with really thin feet that fit in the GX. I know guys with wide feet like myself who fit in the GX. And for me, this is why the GX is such a great pair of football boots, just from the standpoint of being able to adapt and mold to different foot shapes. So for me, shape and fit of this boot is an 8.5 out of 10. All right, so competition for this boot is, I think for control shooting boots, I'd say Predator Accuracy, the whole line 0.1 and 0.1, the higher top 0.1 or the mid-cut 0.1. Tequila is sort of in this boot category as well. I'm trying to think of other boots that are sort of in this category of control and yeah, I'd say those are kind of the main competitors to this. This is absolutely the top of the list for me. It's not even close. This one is one that I love so much, and I really have enjoyed playing in this. It's been awesome. So for me, this is top of the list for sure. Performance of this football boot is fantastic. This is going to get an 8.5 out of 10 per performance between comfort, fit, lockdown, all that stuff. 8.5 out of 10, absolutely brilliant. Overall for this football boot is exceptional. The DF model is fantastic, gives you incredible lockdown, great adjustability through the lacing system, the lace cover, amazing striking surface. It really does everything so well. And so for me, this football boot gets an 8.5 out of 10, top marks for the Phantom GX DF. I just prefer the low cut because of the way they look and fit and feel on my feet. So that's for me. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you guys want more reviews on different boots and more 1 month reviews, let me know down in the comments which one you guys want next. As always, be awesome. I'll see you guys in the next video.